Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I'm checking out the Simbans TangoTab, available for under $150 on Amazon. So there's really nothing much around the box here, except you got two stickers that show kind of the authenticity and the fact that it's new. And then as you're trying to remove it, it'll show void all over it, so you know whether you have a new one or not. By the way, I do want to thank Simbans for sending this out for review. Inside the box, you get a thank you card. It says, "Your support has saved a life." There's a nice little story back here where some of the proceeds go to charity. Then we've got the user manual here. A case is included, which is pretty nice. The tablet itself underneath, a 10.1-inch tablet. Then we've got a DC cable. This is likely to recharge the tablet, along with a USB wall outlet. Then you do have some converters here for UK and Europe, I believe. And then you have a micro SD card slot, or micro USB cable. So there is a screen protector that comes pre-installed after you remove this. And I gotta say, this looks thicker than other tablets that I've tested out before. Quite a bit thicker actually with the dimensions compared to the 10.1-inch tablets like the Beneve tablet. So in comparison, this is my Beneve 10.1-inch tablet, which costs around the same price as this, actually cheaper. And you can see that the bezels are thinner, and it's also thinner as well in general compared to this by a little bit. I'll have the dimensions down below, or if I can place them in the video here. I'll talk more about this tablet at the end of the video. On the top left, you have the power button, volume keys. On the right side, there seems to be the speaker grill, and there's one on the left side, but I wonder if it emits from both places or just one. We'll take a look at that more later on. We've got a 5-pin magnet for a keyboard dock, it seems like. So you can put a keyboard on here if it's not Bluetooth, but it doesn't come with one. I wonder if they sell it separately. On the right side is where you can find the microphone here, then the 3.5mm headphone jack, micro USB cable, mini HDMI port, a USB cable, DC port to recharge the tablet. I'm guessing that little circle there is a reset button. I could be wrong though. And then underneath that is the micro SD card slot. So this is the case right here. It does have 2 pins on the top, technically 4, so that it can close and open, and it'll stay closed. It won't loosely just hang on there. But it doesn't lock the screen or unlock it when you open it up, just like with the iPad models you might see in the cases. But regardless, you can put it in from the side here, and it's pretty tight to get in there. And the only things it's really blocking is not the ports, but the ports down here for the case. That's if you're going to be looking at getting the case. And by the way, the case is going to be sold soon by Simbans. I just contacted them asking them about that, and they said that they're going to be selling it. I'm not sure if they're going to be selling it like separately or if it's going to come with it after this, but we'll see. I'll update the description and I'll put it in the comments down below as I get updates for that. And then this can also be used as a stand so that you can put it back like this. It's kind of nice to see that option to have a mini HDMI port, because you don't see that every day in today's tablets around the sub $100 price point. But you do have all these things installed, so there's not too much bloatware coming out of the box, and that's a nice thing. And it is running Android 7.0 right out of the box. For storage space, we have less than 23 gigs available, or a little more than 23 gigabytes, so you have extra space. And again, you can install a micro SD card if you need it. I just updated the apps, and there's only about 22 gigs left. So that's not too bad, but again, you do have the choice of the micro SD card slot. And the brightness, the screen does get bright. Not enough to use outside in sunlight though, or in broad daylight, but it should be good enough. It doesn't seem as bad as the Aosin tablet that I tested out a while ago. That one got really dim and didn't get too bright whatsoever since I've tested it, or since I've been using it. Now, the one reason why... So the volume does seem to come from both sides. I'm still a little unclear about whether or not there's 2 speakers or just 1 speaker, but regardless, they do emit from both sides. Because I was hearing one felt louder than the other, but nonetheless, the speakers are there. They do get relatively loud. They are emitting from both sides, so that's a good thing. But it does get very staticky, or sounds very tinny. It might sound very bad in some videos. Here's the front-facing camera. It's not that smooth when I move my head around, but it's okay for Skype call or video call. The actual quality itself is alright. It's nothing special, as to be expected. The rear-facing camera is zoomed in a lot, quite a bit, and the shutter speed is relatively slow. Again, nothing crazy. At the same time, I took a picture here, and I can read everything pretty well, so this will be good to take notes in class at most if you were looking at doing something for school. On the Antutu benchmark, it got a score of 39,000 overall. Now that's not bad or anything, and it defeated some of the users. If we zoom in here, you can look at it if you want. And we've got the specs on here with an MT8163 quad-core processor, Mali T720. The regular stuff we see on a sub-$100 tablet, but they tend to perform differently, all of them, even though they have the same specs. And this is what we see here on the Geekbench score. For the single core, it's going to be usually around 570. The multi-core score is going to be just under 1300. First game we're checking out here is called Subway Surfers. It's a free game. All the games I usually check out are free unless stated otherwise. So far this game seems to be playable. It's not fully smooth. I do notice some stutters and like slight freezes or hiccups, whatever you want to call it. It seems to be alright for the most part though. Next game we're checking out here is Roblox. And this is the Shooting Stimulator or Simulator 2. And it doesn't seem to be that smooth. I'm not sure, dare I say it's not even playable? That's just my guess though, because it just looks very choppy and slow. Not really smooth at all. Next game we're checking out here is Fruit Ninja. And honestly, the frame rate seems to be really good on this. Better than the average that I've seen. Or better from what I've seen on average. What this tells me is that it can handle lower end 3D games. The next game we're checking out here is PUBG Mobile. I have the settings set to low. And it's not really playable. It's kind of slow actually. So it looks very slow and choppy when you try to move around. Somehow I got that guy, which was surprising. And yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, when I try to move around, it does stutter and slow down. And there are some freezes. So I would say this isn't really playable. I'm surprised it can load everything. And here's what the settings looks like if you go into graphics. The frame rate set to low. I kept it at medium before, but it wasn't working too well. Overall, I gotta say this is a pretty decent tablet, but now here's why you shouldn't get this. First off, it's going for $135. Not a bad price, right? But you could find something cheaper with identical specs and a slightly better resolution or screen resolution, and that's a Beniv 10.1-inch tablet that I showed earlier. It has 2 gigs of RAM, ARM Mali T720 renderer, compressor, GPU, whatever you want to call it, MT8163 quad-core processor, just like this one, and it goes for under $100. At the time of this video, it's going for $97.99, so just under $100, or you can see just about $100. But if you're willing to pay about $135, I'd also recommend checking out the Chewy Hi9 Pro. Now, this is available on GearBest's website. I'll have a link down below in the description or in the comments section. Now, this goes for $135. This usually goes for about $140. I guess it's on sale right now. The difference here is that it's running Android 8, a newer version of Android, with a MTK Helio X20 Deca-core processor, an ARM Mali T880. These are all newer specs, much better too. And then it has 3 gigs of RAM versus 2 on the tablet here that we're using. 32 gigs of internal storage, and it does have a 2560 by 1600 resolution. That's a really sharp screen right there. Much sharper than this 1280 by 800 display. Now, this is like the standard for like tablets at $100 or under $100. But yeah, I just think this is too expensive. That's why I think you shouldn't get this one. But yeah, your other option is the Beniv 10.1-inch tablet that does have a 1920 by 1200 display, full HD, a little higher than full HD to be able to watch videos. Or if you're willing to spend about $135, then go with this one, the Chewy Hi9 Pro. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like if you found this video helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more. As always, thanks for watching.